Alright, hit me out. This is So Says Mr. Thunder. Today is Wednesday, July the 24th, 2024. I'm Mr. Thunder. And today, I just want to, thank y'all for coming to the podcast. If this is your first time, definitely appreciate you for coming. Today is a special treat. You heard about it. Somehow you're here. If you've been following us or following the podcast, you already know what's about to happen. I got a special guest here. This man right here is one of the first men that I actually sat down and actually did counseling with. He did my marriage counseling. And we've had a lot of deep conversations about life, religion, love, lust, crime, pity, all that good stuff. We always dive into it. And right now, my man is in a position where he can sit down and relax and not really worry and let his mind be free. And with that, I want to introduce you. So without further ado, introduce yourself, man.
Yes. This is Pastor Brand. I've been in ministry for about 25 years. I love life. I love people. And at the same time, I know that there's things that God created. God created. And God is so precise in everything that he does. And he's already put everything in place. It's like watching my mother cook, for Christmas, the Christmas dinner. She started early. And she know how to lay out everything she needed to have to make what she was getting ready to make.
Right.
And that I see God in that same way many, many millions of years ago.
Right. So you say there's a recipe, right? You're talking about your mom putting something together, right?
Yes.
So what we were talking about is putting something together on your end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for everybody who's listening, Dr. Brand has a podcast that he is going to be starting for a particular reason. Mm-hmm. And that reason is the times.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so elaborate a little bit more on the times.
Okay. It's about the fact that what the Bible has said about, the days and the times and the escalation of things and how, each time that we move from one day to the next, 1 week to the next week, 1 month to the next month, 1 year to the next year.
Right.
That as those things begin to happen, God is not, he's not impatient, but he has a time in this situation that started way back in Genesis that ends in Revelation. Mm-hmm. And in between that, we don't know what area we're in. Well, as far as I'm concerned, we don't went way past that. Mm-hmm. We way over in here. We way over in here.
Okay.
We way over in here. Now, when you start getting down through these here, like I'm at First Corinthians, I'm at Philippians. Mm-hmm. And then when you get down in here and now you hit Revelation, then you in the end. So what I'm going to say, my brother, is that we are probably 2 letters that each one of these disciples wrote from being where God is now telling those in heaven, prepare yourselves. You see what I'm saying? And what I'm saying could be another 100 years from now.
Right.
But then at the same time, it could be another 20 years from now. It depends on how we, as the created creatures that he made. Mm-hmm. If I remember right, the first one he made, he took a scoop of dirt and made man.
Right.
And he did. He sure in the heck did do that. Yeah.
So we was talking, right?
Yeah.
And you said that there's a particular scripture that sticks out to you when you talk about the times. And you were in the book of Matthew, right? Matthew 23.
Let's go back to that bad boy.
Why are you looking for it? What was the reasoning for you getting to Matthew?
Okay, the reasoning for me to get to Matthew, Matthew had a lot of clarity on many things that was getting ready to happen, and so I stuck with him because he enlightened me on a lot of things that was getting ready to begin and happen. You know, as such, when he talked about.
So what's the chapter?
Okay, it's Matthew 23.
Verse.
And it would be verse, I would say we start right here. Right here.
23 and 13?
13.
Okay,
yes,
go ahead.
Woe to you, teachers of the law, and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You shut the kingdom of heaven in men's faces. You yourselves do not enter, nor will you let those enter who are trying to. Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites. You travel over land and sea to win a single convert, and when he becomes one, you make him twice as much a son of hell as you are.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
So, elaborate a little bit on those two verses.
On those two things. Okay, so what it's saying here is Pharisees who were the teachers of that time, who absolutely, God had allowed them to be in that place, but pride took over, and they began to teach as if they were God.
Okay.
And so
that's powerful, right? So something happened where you were given, the Pharisees were given the privilege of teaching.
Exactly.
The knowledge.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Then the wisdom that came behind it, they took that wisdom as if it was their own, and it wasn't God given.
Yeah. Because old Slewfoot,
right,
the devil,
okay,
was in the mix.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
How does that relate to today?
Okay.
So today, we talk. There's a lot going on, man. I mean, in the future, people are gonna listen to this episode and they're gonna be like, "Man, what was going on in July of 2024?" And what we're experiencing now is we're looking at war. We're looking at what is this called? Distraction.
Yes.
And then starvation.
Yes.
So, if you could kind of summarize that up into just a real quick message that you want to leave with people, and then we'll give them more information on how to reach out to you and guide them to your podcast, because the whole point of this conversation is to get the reason behind you want to do a podcast and what you're trying to get across. So we started with the times.
Yes,
the
sir.
world is in shambles right now.
Yes,
it has been written. We know this. Anybody who studies the word, no matter what words you're looking at, it all goes down the same path.
Exactly.
Now, it drew you to Matthew, where Matthew is basically giving the instruction of basically the hand slapping.
Yeah.
Basically saying, hey, I gave you an opportunity to do better,
right,
and you chose to do worse.
Yes.
For your own gratification.
Exactly.
And in doing so, we have war now, we have distraction, and we have starvation.
Yes.
So give me a little bit on that, and then we'll tell them how to reach out to you.
Okay. Well, again, he has listed everything. He has given us the plan. It's like a company when they get ready to do some type of project and building. They make a plan. They base everything on it. It's in the papers. It may be that high. It may be that high. But they got the plan. God has done the same thing. He got these men. He came into their minds. They didn't do this. It wasn't them. It was God who came into their minds. Matthew, John, Isaiah. Let me go back in here. Jeremiah. All of these individuals were just like me and you. But God poured into them. He could do that. You know, the most thing that had me so baffled was trying to figure out where did God come from.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, God just came to me and just said, "That's just too deep."
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a time when you will find out. You will know. And so I said, "Man, Lord, that's deep." I said, "So you're telling me, Jesus, that this has been going on for hundreds of years?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I began, and I'm thinking, like, okay, Lucifer, who is the potential idiot of lies. That's what he does. But here's the thing. If Satan is lying every chance he gets, what is that telling you? Something must be right somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Right. So, before we go any deeper in it, right?
Yeah.
The whole point of this conversation is to let people know that you're creating a podcast, and the reason why you're creating a podcast is for combat of this, combating what's going on.
Yes.
Combating the times.
Yes.
And you gave it a label. You called it a weapon.
Yes.
Okay. Elaborate.
Okay. It's a weapon because in those podcasts, you can create and you can be the divine spy that you should be,
Mm-hmm.
to let individuals know what God is saying. God gives it to you, and He don't mind you giving what He's come up with to who needs to hear it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that is the purpose, right? So if somebody were to find our podcast or this podcast and to title it, and it's just the first page, right, of the first lesson,
Mm-hmm.
what would you call it?
I would call it the world is burning in a holy fire.
The world is burning in a holy fire.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. I appreciate you for just taking the time. I know we sat down, we talked about what you wanted to do and things like that. I definitely know that you got a lot to say, and I got a little bit of time, but we're going to definitely tell people how to get a hold of you in the future. If you want to leave any information, you can. If not, we can do it later.
Okay.
But I definitely want to tell you I appreciate you and the time that you have on this earth with me.
Yes, sir.
In this time that has been written.
Yes, sir.
It's no mistake.
Yes, sir.
That you reached out to me.
Yeah.
For something that I had.
Yes.
And I definitely got something that I needed from you.
Yes.
And I hope that whatever seed has been planted eventually will take root. And I just wish you nothing but the best in your podcast. And definitely looking forward to get you back on here, man.
Yeah, man.
So again, tell them who you are.
Yes, sir. I'm just Dr. Cleo Brand.
Dr. Cleo Brand.
Love the word, and I know that God is that He is. I'm gonna put it like this here. He's in heaven, but He's down here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an escalation. I'm gonna leave that like that. It's there that we're in a situation of an escalation that's gonna escalate more now, and that as each escalation comes, it gets bigger and bigger. So now it's getting tight for anybody who has not got their how do I put this here? Let me put it like this here. If they haven't got their paperwork together,
They ain't in order.
and you ain't got your ticket all set,
Yeah.
you you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up, man. So, like I said, man, I appreciate you. I believe that we had a good name for your podcast called Brandon Times. We'll see if that takes root or not.
Yeah.
But definitely thank you.
Yeah.
This has been another episode of So Says Mr. Thunder. I'm Mr. Thunder. I'm a Native American of this country, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Be looking forward to Dr. Brand's podcast coming out. I'll have more information on the Instagram and on YouTube. Definitely, this man has a lot of wisdom that I definitely want to tap into. And every time I tap in, I become full. So I'm never thirsty. Yeah. I'm always ready for more. So with that being said, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow the Instagram page. I can be found on all podcast platforms. And most importantly, this is a time where you need to have your affairs in order. As Dr. Brand says, there's warfare going on, and if you're not in order, then you're going to be out of order. Yeah. And we know that anything that's out of order gets tossed out, and nobody wants to be left out. With that being said, I'm out. I'm out.